Are you looking to get custom merch for your band? PM Star Promotions is producing all types of promotional items such as shirts, hats, stickers, banners, koozies, skate decks, and much, much more. All products are imprinted in the USA and made to last while keeping your cost as low as possible. Need a shirt design or logo made? The PM Star team has over 20 years experience in graphic design to make your ideas come to life. PM Star Promotions is making their way by working alongside with national bands and record labels including Crowbar, Goat Whore, and Ripple Music. To get customized, dependable work or check out the package deals that fit your budget and other exciting offers, please check out our featured collection on Facebook, PM Star Promotions, or visit www.pmstarpromo.com. It's time to get noticed.
Give them nothing, but take from them everything.
Hello and welcome back to the Metal Hand of God podcast. I am your host, Wayne.
Hi, Bob.
And this is
not Bob.
Not Bob sitting next to me. I am going to say it again, but we are the most dangerous podcast in the planet. In the planet. We're not on the planet. We're inside.
It's not really that difficult to be the most dangerous podcast in the planet.
I know.
It's kind of like all these people are like, Wonder Woman's the best movie that DC has ever put out. That's not a lot of competition.
It's not really hard, and I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
You think Batman versus Superman is better than Wonder Woman?
No. I think the Dark Knight trilogy is better than that.
Those don't actually count. People try to make them count.
Why? But they're in the DC universe.
No, the DC universe starts with Man of Steel.
So okay, so you mean like
Dark Knight is specifically
like
a Chris Nolan movie. Warner Brothers had nothing to do with it.
So what you're trying to say is you mean from that point
Man of
on.
Steel is the first. Man of Steel is their Iron Man.
Okay, I got you. No, I was talking
put
about
it this way.
in general.
It's like saying, well, I guess this would be a rum argument. It's like saying that the Nick Fury movie, is one of the first movies in the Marvel cinematic universe.
Look, for rum's sake, that Nick Fury movie, man.
Yeah,
Hasselhoff, man.
That no one saw, that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah, true.
That was not successful.
No, it wasn't. It was awful. It was kind of like the Fantastic Four movie that never made it. The one that didn't.
Yeah, that's a Fox production. It's a little more complicated when it's Marvel because Warner Brothers, DC was owned by Warner Brothers for I don't know how long. I'm pretty sure our whole life. Definitely our whole lives. Because Batman came out in 87?
Yeah, I think so. It was the first one that came out in 87, 86, 87, something like that.
So pretty much our whole lives.
Well, what about the 60s Batman?
I don't know if Warner Brothers owned them.
Because I believe the first movie came out in 70 something.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember the numbers for those, but Warner Brothers, DC was owned by Warner Brothers since forever, so they didn't have to make the deals that Marvel did.
Right.
Marvel was in bankruptcy in 99 or 2000, and the way they got out of bankruptcy was selling film rights to like everything, and that's why. I think this happened before. Yeah, it definitely happened before, but that's why Universal Studios has like a perpetuity contract for all the Marvel characters except for certain ones for some weird reason.
Right.
But everything on the East Coast, Disney cannot build a theme park with any Marvel characters except for, again, certain ones like Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange. I'm not sure why.
It's probably all the ones that the recent movies, maybe.
No, this has been since the 90s. But
okay.
But so Marvel made all these deals that and nobody's seen the contracts for any of them. Like some of them are movie contracts, like Fox, Universal Studios, like I said, has a contract for the characters for theme parks. But it's so Fox's deal. Well, Fox has the same deal as all the other ones. From what I understand, it's this: they have to make a movie within, and I think this is a pretty standard clause. But basically, they keep the contract, they keep the rights for. I don't know if it's in perpetuity or if it's a specific number of years, but they have to meet certain requirements, and one of them is that they have to make a movie every certain number of years with each property. So X-Men, they don't have a problem because there's constantly an X-Men movie coming out.
Yeah, and there's so many different characters. So.
But Fantastic Four has not been successful for them, which is,
and after that last fucking...
Well, that was a last-ditch effort. They were trying to... And I don't know what's going to happen to that franchise after that. They can't really make another Fantastic Four movie, and they don't really know how to anyway. Like
It's kind of a shame because it's a really good property.
It's a good property, but a lot of people don't understand it. It's not... The Fantastic Four isn't a superhero story. It's an adventure story.
Right.
They're explorers. That's what... Like, instead of fighting Doctor Doom, which, people want Doctor Doom in it, but they should really be, like, exploring... They could make a Fantastic Four time travel movie, and people would watch it.
It'd be incredible, yeah.
But it's about exploration. But that's why Punisher is back with Marvel, because I forget who. I think it was Sony head Punisher. I think
for the last film.
I think I'm not sure,
but remember.
But they
never saw the last one, so I don't know.
Warzone.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it either, but I think you'd like it. It's pretty schlocky.
That's what I hear. It's pretty entertaining. Like it's just lots of violence and shit. Bullshit like that.
But they couldn't do anything with it, and so the same thing with Daredevil. They I forget the guy who made the A-Team movie had put out a treatment where he wanted to do like a 70s. What do they call it? It's a specific kind of
homage or something.
No, like I forget. It's like Grindhouse, but it's not. I can't think of the term.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But there's a specific type of movie that he was trying to do, and he put out this trailer that he had made, to kind of give people an idea of what he wanted to do, and it looked really, really cool, And
of course, nothing ever happened.
Well, it didn't appear until a couple of months before the contract was due to run out, and basically the clock ran out before they could come together on a deal, which worked out. I mean, the Marvel Netflix series,
dude, the TV show is incredible.
And it's probably better than what that would have been, even though I would have liked to have seen that film.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I mean, that's how all that stuff works. I don't know how we got started on this in the first place, but.
I don't even remember either. I don't know where the rabbit hole started.
Oh, we were talking about like Warner Brothers, but yeah. So the difference between DC and Marvel is that Marvel has to have different universes because they, in order to get themselves out of a hole, they had to sell off the rights to Fox and Sony and all these places. Yeah. Like if Disney, had been willing to buy them out in the early 2000s. They never would have sold the rights to Spider-Man.
Right.
And certainly X-Men and all that, and like now they're building a universe where the TV side is where like the Inhumans or the X-Men, and but they much rather have the ability to make an X-Men movie.
Yeah. Actually, I sat down and remember we said I didn't have anything to talk about, but I lied. I actually sat down.
You do that a lot.
I know. I forgot about this, but I sat down and
kind
watched
of a dick, Bob.
I watched before we get in that, if you haven't noticed, we don't have anybody else but us two. We're all alone.
That happens a lot lately.
I know. They hate us. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, but they'll be back, I'm sure.
I don't blame them.
Me either. But anyway, I sat down and was flipping through Netflix and was just whatever, see what was new. Doctor Strange is on there. I didn't actually see it yet, so I'm going to watch that. And
is Ant-Man on there?
I don't know. I didn't look it up. I'll have to look it up and see. But it was weird because actually normally stuff like that would pop up as new, like it's in there. But I had to actually search because I saw somebody say that Doctor Strange was in it, so I just went to look, and it was there. So
and it's not the animated movie?
No, it's a new one. It's pretty real. But anyway, so I sat down and I saw a documentary, and to the life of me, I didn't even know what the name of it was, but I decided to click it and read the description. It's actually a documentary on how and what happened when they made the movie The Island of Dr. Moreau. Like all the chaos and insanity that went on with that production. Like,
yeah, I've told you about this movie.
This
is about the director that quit and like ended up living
hiding
in the hills.
woods and shit. Yeah. Well, they actually have footage of all that shit, and they show all that.
Yeah, they eventually found him.
Yeah. Well, the crazy stuff about it was like, it wasn't him that he couldn't keep a grip. It was like his first.
It was Kilmer and Marlon Brando.
Yeah, they were fucking horrible, like insane. Like Brando would change the script like as they were reading it, and like there was one guy in. Have you seen the movie?
I've seen parts of it.
All right. Well, there was a character. I think his name was Ming in the movie, and
the Monkey Man.
Yeah, I think so. It was the guy that was always supposed to. It was like he's like the
little weird midget.
Not the little midget guy. It was the guy who wore the white clothes, and he was the one that was the most well spoken out of all the.
I didn't see that part.
The animal people. Well, he was supposed to be the midget guy's part. Where the midget guy was, that's where this guy was supposed to be through the whole movie. Well, Brando told the guy's German. Okay, the guy was German. So Brando walks up to this guy and goes to speak to him and says, "So you're the German actor?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am." And so he starts with his garbled, you can't understand Brando to begin with, to talk to him in German, and the guy was like, I don't know what you're saying, and he goes, "Oh, come on, you don't know what I'm saying? I'm speaking in German to you, So he does it again, and the guy goes, "Oh, yeah," and he says, "I have no idea what Brando was telling me, And he goes, "Bullshit, you don't know what I said. Let me try it one more time." And he says it again, and the guy, he's just like, I have no idea. And then somebody else spit out what Brando was trying to say, and he goes, "See, that guy knows what he's talking about, Well, to make a long story short, he did the same thing to the little guy. The little guy was Spanish or Mexican and couldn't speak a lick of English. So Brando walked up to him and did the garbled whatever, and the other guy, the German guy, was there, and he's like looking at him, and the little midget guy just looks at him and says, "See, yeah," like that. And then Brando just looks at him and says, "I like this guy. I want him next to me all the time through the whole movie." So basically, that little dude, by saying "see,"
right,
took that guy's role, and it's just unreal. Like Brando had the idea to have the little guy dress up exactly like him and wear the fucking weird ice cap thing, and and then there was like finally with the director.
I think the makeup was his idea too.
Mm-hmm. Well, the weird thing is he came out like he wasn't supposed to look like the way he did. Yeah. He came out in like cheesecloth and white paint on his face, and people were just like, "What the fuck is going on?" Because that wasn't his whole, like, he did that in his dressing room.
I heard a lot of this stuff on the Island of Dr. Moreau episode of How Did This Get Made.
Oh, no shit? Okay.
Yeah, because they do like research and like discuss like weird shit.
It was so incredible. It's such a
this is a documentary I really wanted to see, but I've just never gotten around to seeing it.
It's really, really good. And the poor bastard who directed it, who was going to direct it at first, he's only did 2 movies prior. And they were low budget movies that he did on his own. One was called Hardware, and I can't remember, the other one was called something Dust or something. And so, of course, he was dude, you giving a guy $40 million to produce a movie, and you dealing with all these big stars. James Wood is actually supposed to be in that movie, but he dropped out. And then there was, of course, it was supposed to be Brando, James Wood, and Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis had to drop out because of the fact that him and Demi Moore were getting divorced at the time, and he couldn't leave the country to go deal with everything else. So he dropped out, and that's how Val Kilmer got the spot. And but yeah, man, it was so weird. Like they found like these two extras or guys that got fired and they got brought back, and these two guys decided they had to go. They went somewhere down the road, and they saw like some. Like campfire, and they were like, "What the fuck is this down here?" And they went down, and it was the fucking dude, the original director. After he left, he went crazy. Basically, what he did was instead of like they were supposed to bring him to the airport, so they brought him to the airport, and instead of him getting on the airplane, he just fucking walked away and just disappeared. And like people were calling the guys, going, "Where is so and so? Where'd you bring him?" Like, we brought him to the airport, man. You know, well, he's not on his plane. He hasn't arrived, you know. And then, like I said, they found him in the woods. And the crazy thing, the most insane moment of this shit was that dude went back to the film with those people
as an extra
and dressed up as one of the monsters and got in there because he was against his contract. If he was anywhere near that, they would have shut down the whole project. They said. So he dressed up. They kept him in a fucking one of the hotel rooms and like, because they were all friends with the guy, you know. So it was bizarre, man. It was bizarre, but it was really good documentary, dude. If you get a chance to watch it, man, I think you should watch it. It's awesome. It was really interesting, you know. I mean, I knew there was a lot of fucked up things about that movie, but I really didn't know.
I think what broke him, if I remember right, was Kilmer and Brando were like at odds, and Kilmer was like, he's not going to be outshining me, like that kind of shit.
Basically, Kilmer wouldn't come out of his dressing room until Brando did, and then Brando wouldn't come out of his dressing room until Kilmer did. So there was like several days that extras and people were dressed in full 4-hour makeups. Like these guys sat there forever putting these makeups on for days. That these dudes wouldn't come out of their trailer, you know, and they ruined all that, you know. I mean, they fucked that guy up pretty bad, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, God only knows what that movie would have been if they would have actually been decent human beings and not idiots.
It probably would still been a piece of shit, but
well, you know,
I mean, the poor guy. I mean, I'm sure when he got that job, it was probably like, "You fucking kidding me? Like, I'm directing Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer."
Right.
And this was Val Kilmer back then, not Val Kilmer now. You know.
Yeah.
He went from Mad Mardigan to Fat Mardigan.
Oh God, he went from what's his name in fucking, was it Ace? In to,
I think so.
Yeah.
No, Ice.
Was it Iceman?
Yeah, I think he was
Iceman. All right. To the Blob, I guess.
Because he was the bad guy, right? He was the not the bad guy.
Not the bad. He was the asshole.
He was the antagonist.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like Iceman or something like that.
Yeah, Iceman.
I don't fucking know. It could have been Icebox.
No, now he's Refrigerator.
There you go.
But
yeah, I really wanted to say that.
It was good, dude. I think you should check it out. It's on Netflix now, so I mean, you can check it out. It's good.
I did watch that other documentary you told me about, the Canon Films one.
Oh, it's pretty good, huh?
A lot of titties on it.
Oh, I mean,
I was like,
super titty.
I get it, but I was like, this is excessive.
It was like titties everywhere.
It's like, it's weird to watch a documentary like halfway through. You're like, I kind of need to go beat off now.
Yeah, right. It was like Canon was like pushing like porn limits at one point.
Oh yeah, I mean, they knew what they were doing. I mean, you got what was that one movie with the chick that you saw everywhere, but she never became famous? Life Force, where she's just topless the whole fucking movie.
Oh yeah.
Basically, it was like about
that movie.
It was about an alien succubus that they found on a space station.
Love that movie, dude.
And she just walks around with her tits out like the whole fucking movie.
I guess I love it because I was probably like, I was probably younger than that, maybe 12.
I mean, I hear you. I mean,
when that movie came out,
Ski School will forever,
right.
You know,
it'd be burned in your head.
The first, I was like that. I don't know. Was that the first? I never remember what the first movie was that I saw tits in. It was one of three things. It was either Ski School. I actually don't think it's Ski School.
No, dude, I could tell you what it is.
That or DC Cab or Coming to America.
I bet it was Porky's.
I don't know if I ever saw the R-rated version of that.
Oh, really? I remember that was the first that I can remember in the top of my head that was the first like bush and titties that I saw in a movie.
If I did, I saw it later. I mean, I do have a fetish from that movie, but I don't really remember much of that movie. I remember the fucking glory hole scene.
Right, of course you do.
And I remember the thing where they ended up out in the woods and they ended up running for their lives.
Oh yeah, where their friends decided to get that big black.
Was that
dude.
at Porky's?
No.
Because wasn't Porky's like a strip club?
Yeah. But that was like a strip club far off. But no, their friend. They were like, yeah, man, we got this woman. She'll do us all. You know, she'll do us all. We just got to go to her house. You know, when her old man's not home, she's freak. You know. Mm-hmm. But they actually set it up. It was a prostitute that they paid, and they got a big old black dude that they knew, and they paid him, and they threw blood on him and had two of them fall out of the room like they were dead, and had him come out, motherfucker, what you doing? And he chased them all out the woods.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's when was it Woogie Woogie when the guy was drunk.
I'm not, like I said, I don't remember much of that movie. I remember those two scenes vaguely.
No, that was Porky's 2 that they did the grave thing. That's where the Woogie Boogie thing came from. Porky's 2.
But I think it might have been Coming to America was the first pair of tits I saw.
Nice. When the girls were bathing him?
Yeah, when the royal penis was cleaned.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great line.
I was like, and it's such a... like, it's this weird thing, because, like, that's a fantastic movie.
Oh, yeah.
That is the only R-rated scene in it, really?
Yeah.
Like, when you get down to it, like, it's there for no reason other than, I'm sure...
We need to see some titties?
No, I don't think it was that. I think it was Eddie Murphy was just like, well, what would a prince do? He'd probably have royal whores that like wash his cock for him.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that was actually his bathtub, and he was just like, you know what? Let's just film in here. And that's what happened. At that moment, he was one of the hottest people out there.
Yeah, I don't think he was that rich though yet. I think it was around the time he was getting a lot of money.
Yeah, because
like even with Beverly Hills Cop 2, I don't think he had like a huge payday.
Because it was Trading Places, then he did that one. And then he did.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know his first one was,
then he bounced
was the Nick Nolte movie. No.
What Nick Nolte? Oh, yeah. 48 Hours.
It was 48 Hours, then Beverly Hills Cop. Probably Trading Places after that, and then Beverly Hills Cop 2.
I thought Trading Places would have been before that, because it's...
I think Beverly Hills Cop he got specifically because of 48 Hours. Because I think the director had something to do with it.
Oh, okay.
But, so yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 48 Hours that got him.
Got it made, you mean? Like Billy Ray Valentine? That was Billy Ray Valentine was in the fucking other movie.
No, I think it's...
No, Billy Ray was from Trading Places. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I just, I can't remember what the character was from.
But originally, Beverly Hills Cop was supposed to star Sylvester Stallone. And... Sylvester Stallone like bowed out for some reason, and they said, well, you know, Eddie Murphy, you know, he did pretty good in 48 Hours, and he had a rising star, so they put him in Beverly Hills Cop.
Right.
It was a few years later they did Beverly Hills Cop 2,
which was good, and you know they're still supposed to be making a 4.
Yeah, but that's been Actually, I'm not sure. The Beverly Hills franchise has been all over the place. And honestly, like, after 3, they probably should have just left it alone, because 3 was terrible.
Which one was 3 again?
3 was the one that basically did a mock-up of Disneyland.
Oh, yeah, with fucking Uncle something as the guy's name instead of, like, Walt Disney.
I don't remember, but Hector Elizondo took over for your boy.
Which I don't know why he wasn't in the film. I don't think. I think
he decided he didn't want to be in it.
I don't think he died yet.
I think it was as simple as that. He just didn't want to do it.
He was like, he read the script and was like, "This is." He
might
trash.
have. It was really bad. And people had been waiting like a decade for that movie. But at one point, I don't know if it's out there or what, but at one point they were going to do Beverly Hills Cop 4. And then like something fell through. Like I guess they couldn't get the script right, and they were like, "Hey, why don't we do a Beverly Hills Cop TV show that Eddie will do a couple of episodes of, but it'll be about his son."
And that never went through.
I think they made a pilot at least. I don't know. I don't know if it made it to the air or not, but you know, it's something I'd have to sit there and Google or something like that. But yeah, it's pretty. I mean, some things they just need to leave alone, honestly. And I understand from an Eddie Murphy perspective, like he needs a
Eddie who?
Huh?
Eddie who?
I said Eddie Murphy.
It sounded like you said Eddie Murphy, but that's all right. I like Eddie Murphy.
Oh, whatever, Bob. Quit being a dick, Bob.
Hey man, I got to do a little bit, you know.
Quit being a Bob, dick. Anyway,
Eddie Murphy.
So, but I mean, like I saw Friday, I saw the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then there's a little credit sequence at the end that kind of implies some things and could be like a sequel. But I was just thinking, like, even if I was down with this idea, like you had like a really good ending to this series. Like the fourth one wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just kind of there.
They just put it together, make one, yeah.
Well, no, you could tell with the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean that they were trying to like really breathe new life into the franchise. No, they didn't want closure. They wanted to be like a franchise, because like all these studios, they're trying to like reignite franchises and make new ones and stuff like that, you know,
right.
Because they need the money, because original properties, they're not willing to bet on them. So, but the problem was like with the fourth one was like Jack Sparrow is kind of a sidekick character. Like he's more popular than the other characters, but he's the comedy relief. He's not the main character. And so they made a movie where he was the main character, and like the two people who sort of were supposed to take the place of Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, kind of, I mean, they weren't horrible, but they were just very uninteresting.
Right.
And so it just didn't work. You know, it was too much Johnny Depp, too much of these like boring characters that barely had any personality. One guy was just like, he was just a priest, and that was his whole personality. The other one was like a mermaid that he was falling in love with. That was her whole personality.
Oh, all right. I do remember that one now. I was trying to remember what movie the fourth one was.
The fourth one was basically Penelope Cruz plays the daughter of Blackbeard.
Right.
You know?
And then
your boy from Deadwood was really good as Blackbeard.
That's what I'm saying. He died, didn't he, recently?
I don't think so.
Was somebody from Deadwood recently just passed away?
I think so, but it wasn't him.
Okay. Yeah, but he was really good.
He was really good.
Awesome.
And, you know, Penelope Cruz was good. It's not that
it wasn't
any of the, you
cast.
know, your boys Barbosa was really good. But it was like some of the side characters just didn't make the movie, and the story just wasn't quite there. It just felt kind of weird. Like, oh, that's supposed to be Will Turner, but it's not Will Turner.
It's gonna be forced, you know.
Yeah. You know, so it's just like they didn't really get it right, and then when that ended, like people were just like, oh, okay, I guess, you know. And when they announced there was going to be a fifth one, a lot of people just went, you know, like maybe not. And then the trailer for the fifth one was really good, and I was all of a sudden, I was more excited for this movie than I am for Star Wars. You know?
Wow. You know, I really dug, like, just from the trailer, I really dug the Salazar character. I thought that was cool.
Well, Javier Bardem is like one of the best actors on the planet.
Yeah, he's fucking incredible.
And he was really, really good as the villain in this, you know. And don't get me wrong, like it's like if you're really familiar with the Pirates movies, like the originals, it definitely like felt like the original one. Like there's a lot of like cheesiness that doesn't make, like there's a lot of stuff like, here's a magic MacGuffin that tells them magically how to get to the place that no one else has gotten to. Like there's a lot of just shit like that, how do you know that? Like legend, like okay, like Javier Bardem's characters, they're stuck in this like little mountain fortress kind of, like they're cursed to be there, and they're like the only thing that can release us is this. It's like, how do you know that?
Right.
Like was there a fucking magic hermit that was sitting there? It was like, by the way, you're cursed to be stuck here until this happens, you know. And there's just no reason for it, but
that's
like, but you don't really care because it's like it's a Pirates movie. It's kind of silly,
right.
And that's why somebody was asking me, like, my friend Nick Branch from DisAfterDark was like, I don't understand why it got such the hammering it did, and I was like, well, I do. Like it's pretty shitty movie. like it's not like it's well done. It's terribly written.
You're talking about the fourth one?
No, the current one.
Oh, okay.
It's just that it feels like a Pirates movie and it's fun.
Right.
And that's what and critics don't look at that. They don't adjust for like inflation in a way. Like the reason that like the Oscars never nominate a comedy movie is because the people who do the Oscars think of themselves as like thespians instead of fucking assholes who collect a paycheck to be in movies, which is what they are.
Right.
And critics are the same way. Critics, and I am a critic, but critics all want to be writers. That's why, like, you have this whole thing of, like, critics that write these eloquent diatribes about films, and it's like, you're reviewing a piece of art. You're not writing a piece of art.
Right.
But they want to be...
They want to be involved in it.
It's like that thing, like, those who can't do teach. Those who can't make films, review them.
Yeah, and those who can't do anything, podcast.
I don't know. Pretty good at those, but
I'm being sarcastic.
I know. Shut the fuck up
about some asshole.
But anyway, but my whole point was that what you trying to fucking like knee fuck me?
What?
You're like rubbing your knee against me. It's dude, like it's weird.
I'm trying to like move my foot.
Sure.
Don't hate it.
Anyway, but yeah, but like I really enjoyed the new Pirates movie. I recommend people see it. But when I knew there was an after credit sequence, so I sat there and I just watched it. And I went,
well, they're gonna do it. They're gonna pull another one.
I won't bitch and moan if it comes out, especially if it turns out to be good. Because like one thing, so this is kind of a spoiler, but not really, because you see, they didn't really show them in the trailers, but people had talked about it, and in the first 5 minutes of the movie, Orlando Bloom shows up.
Well, yeah, I knew he was gonna be in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, it's weird because it seems like it's supposed to be the central plot, but it quickly becomes just a subplot. But basically, Will Turner's son wants to free his dad of this curse.
Right.
And actually, what's really weird is...
it's almost the same thing as Pirates 2, where he wanted to save his dad from the...
It's pretty much the same thing, and here's why. Like, there's a weird part to it that they don't really explain. So, do you remember how the third movie ended?
Like I said, they're all jumbled in my head. So I don't know.
So at the end of the third movie, Will Turner becomes the captain of the Flying Dutchman.
Right.
That's supposed to tour the seas and like collect souls at sea and stuff like that.
Right.
But because he's the captain now, it's supposed to be like the curse is lifted and they're all good men again.
Correct.
Like they're no longer like weird sea creatures who are cursed. And but as long as he fulfills his duty, like 1 day at sea, 10 years on the ocean.
Yeah.
And his dad is like his assistant captain, whatever they call it, co-captain, deputy captain. What the fuck is it? His lieutenant, I guess.
Lieutenant?
I don't know.
Lieutenant?
Yeah, there you go. So, but when the movie starts, like there's this weird so the son. Again, this isn't really a spoiler. It just happens in the first few minutes. The son goes out to sea. Like, he maps out where his dad's going to be. He straps... This is really kind of fucked up for a kid's movie. He straps his leg to a bag full of rocks and jumps into the water. Like, so...
To drown himself?
That's the impression that you get, but basically he had mapped out where the Flying Dutchman was going to be.
Ah, I got you. So he can sink down to the
yes,
bottom.
he needed to get back down far enough, and you figure that pretty quickly, but it's still like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is a fucking 9-year-old.
Get her to drown.
So he sinks, and again, this isn't a spoiler, this is the first few minutes of the movie. So he sinks down, and then, like, you're like, well, what the fuck is he going to do now? He can't breathe. And so, at that moment, the Flying Dutchman jumps up into the air because I guess his dad sensed that he was there or something like that.
Takes him up.
And and he's like, they changed the kid's name to Henry, so he's not like William the Third or something like that, But he's just like, Henry, what are you doing here? Like, you can't be here. And he's like, no, Dad, I want to be with you. Like, I've figured out a way to lift your curse. I just got to go find the MacGuffin. And he's just like, son, you need to give this up. Like, this is my life. I love you, but I'm sorry. And then he has a moment where he goes,
fuck you, Dad.
No. Will Turner has a moment where he goes, they've sensed your presence. You have to leave now. And there's just a whole ominous thing. I was like, are they going to fucking try to kill the kid? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's this very weird moment that feels like a subplot that is never fucking explored. And I don't know if that's just if they just forgot about it, like, or they cut it out, because sometimes with movies that have multiple writers, and I think this movie had either 2 or 3, but sometimes they're like writers collaborating with each other. Like the first Pirates movie had, I think the first 3 had two writers that worked with each other, but so it wasn't like one wrote one and then one like rewrote it or anything like that. But so I don't know exactly what's going on, but. And it could just be in my imagination. Maybe that wasn't meant to imply anything, but like it was just really, really weird.
It's odd.
But basically, so the movie features Orlando Bloom, and this isn't really a spoiler. It happens at the end, but if you didn't figure this out, I'm sorry. You're not a bright person. Keira Knightley shows up at the end.
No.
But she shows up at literally like the last minute. And by the way, like my dick was like had half mast. I was like, damn, Keira Knightley still looks good. I mean, she's not that old. She's probably, I'm sure she's younger than we are. But Keira Knightley,
yeah, she's younger than we are.
But she looks good. She looks good in the movie. Yeah. But like,
she was like, I think she was like 16 when she made the first pirate movie.
I think you're right.
Yeah, she was really young.
She was really young. Yeah. But so we're
spoiler
watching.
Alert.
So I was like, it ended really satisfyingly, and I was like, oh, good, like they get to be together finally after like 2 decades, because like that movie came out in 2003.
Right.
I was in Arizona. I saw it like they had like a weird campus showing at the Northern Arizona University where I was
the third one, right?
Yeah, no, the first one.
The first one, okay, yeah.
I was in Flagstaff. This was 2003. It came out, so this is 2017. It's been 14 years, and so it was like finally like a really satisfying ending for like that series. But at the same time, I was kind of like, I kind of wanted to see more of both of them, but like in particular, Keira Knightley.
Well, of course you did.
I don't even know she has a line. She like runs to him and like they embrace.
It's probably CGI.
It could be. It could be. But yeah. So like, if they did another one, I feel like I'd be like, okay, like I'll give it a chance. But if they fuck it up, then it's just gonna be like, why didn't you just end it with the last movie?
Why'd y'all do that? So just to clear things up, all right? Just to clear things up.
You Googled Beverly Hills Cop?
I did. 1982 was 48 Hours. That was his first film.
Okay.
Second film he did was Trading Places in 1983.
Okay.
Then there was 2 weird ones that I've never heard of. The best of Laugh Off he was on.
That's probably some type of competition, like.
And then he was on something in a movie called Best Defense in 1984. He played Lieutenant something, some bit piece.
I've never heard of that.
Me either. And then Beverly Hills Cop 2 came out in 84. Then he joined Saturday Night Live. And then
wait, no.
Yes.
He joined Saturday Night Live before 48 Hours.
Oh, 1980. He joined Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that's how he got the job. Like that's where his star started to rise, because he was on the season that came. I want to say it was 2 seasons after the original cast left, and like there was like a weird year where the original cast left and Lorne Michaels left, and so like there was a weird year where nobody was watching it.
Right.
And then the next year, I think Eddie Murphy was part of the cast, and
that's when it blew up. Yeah.
Well, he was kind of the standout, and people tend to hate those seasons, but I've seen those seasons. They're actually pretty funny. It was like Joe Piscopo, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Right.
Louis-Dreyfus was still on the cast then. She actually, her husband, and I think she's still with Brad Hall, was also on it. And there was a lot of like really good stuff. Joe Piscopo used to be really. I don't know why he became unfamous.
Joe Piscopo was fucking hysterical, dude. He was one of my favorites for a long time.
But he never developed like a movie career or anything like that after it. And but Sidekicks was like the last movie he did.
Really?
Hey, he's probably done other stuff that nobody recognizes him from.
But before that, before Beverly Hills Cop 2, though, he did Golden Child.
I love that movie.
Yeah, and then it was
I own that movie.
Then it was Beverly Hills Cop, and then Coming to America was in '88. And of course, there's fucking 89 was Harlem Nights. Another 48 Hours was in 1990, which I didn't think it was in 90.
It's kind of a movie that everyone forgets because it was very forgettable.
Well,
but so that was Coming to America was probably right around the time he was starting to make real money.
Yeah, And then he made Vampire Brooklyn.
No, he might have made money before that because he probably got a big payday off of like Raw and
I'm sure he did after the
what was the other one?
Delirious.
Raw and Delirious, yeah.
Those were fucking hysterical, man.
Yeah, well, they were. were those the first like true comedy concert films?
Yeah, them two, and then Pryor did one that was really big for a while.
Yeah, but was it in theaters?
No, no.
Because Raw and Delirious were in theaters.
Yeah, those were the first two, I believe, that were actually out in a movie theater, which was really cool. Those were fucking funny, man. God, he was a funny dude. What the fuck happened to him? I know what happened to him. Shrek happened to him.
No, it's very simple. Like, comedians, like, there's been different phases of, like, comedy. And, like, one of them was the development deal phase where comedians started thinking of themselves as actors.
Yeah.
Because they started, like, getting offers to be like, oh, like, you're really good in this comedic role, so let's put you in movies. Cool.
Kind of like musicians did now. Like, with the rap guys, all of them are, like, trying to get into movies instead of doing music.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of those guys are also making their own shit, too.
Yeah, but you know what
Which
I mean.
is a little bit different.
You know what I mean.
But basically, for a comedian to... Like, what makes comedy work is the interaction with the audience. That's how you know what's funny, by playing against the audience. And when you stop doing stand-up, you lose touch with what's funny. Like, Eddie Murphy isn't funny anymore because he's lost touch with reality. He lives in Eddie Murphy land.
Right.
And, you know, there was a...
It was right next to Eddie Murphy.
You know the white guy that... Kyle mentions that's like the writing partner of Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. I don't know what his name is, but I know he mentions him all the time.
Right. I can't think of his name right now, but he was talking one day about when him and Dave met Eddie Murphy, and they were hanging out with him, and he was like, "Man, like why don't you do stand up anymore, dude? Like why don't you come back? You know, like it would be amazing. Like people would lose their minds." And he gave them like kind of a half-true answer, but the real reason is basically this. Eddie Murphy's not funny anymore. If he tried to do stand-up, it's kind of like when you watch a wrestler who's past his prime.
Yeah.
It's like you remember like Ric Flair as being the Ric Flair of his heyday.
Yeah, then you see him now and you're like, what the fuck?
Right. All he would do, if he never does stand-up again, he'll always be remembered as the guy who did Raw and Delirious.
Yeah.
If he goes and starts doing stand-up now...
He's going to be the guy who fucked up his career by doing...
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And he's already kind of at the point where, like, after the tranny shit and all that...
Well, he did the tranny. That album came out that was terrible.
What album?
I don't know. He made a record that was fucking awful.
You talking about the one where he was like, my girl wants to party all the time? That was in the 80s.
I know, but...
That was before the trannies. The trannies was, like, in the 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. It was around the time Hugh Grant did a tranny.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How does Hugh Grant do a tranny over the girl he was married to?
Because these people, he wasn't married to her, but Liz Hurley.
Oh my God.
These people
sad
are given everything.
Yeah.
Like anything they want. Like you don't even have to, when you're that famous, you don't have to be rich. Like people will give you shit. You know? And
just gotta have a penis.
So like when you have everything, like your pleasure centers start to burn. Like you're not really designed to constantly just have good things happen to you because it starts to feel like nothing.
Yeah.
So at some point, like these people, like they're not necessarily gay. I'm sure many of them are, but I think they're just like, why don't I just like fuck a tranny?
You know, to have that problem, you know, where all day long good things happen to me.
I wouldn't want that life. I just would like to be successful.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying.
I'd like something like this to be financially
viable.
Viable, so that like I wouldn't have to be looking at getting another job part time and shit like that, and like barely making ends meet. Like that's I want to be able to take trips without having to think about it and shit like that. You know, so it's whatever, you know. But every life has its own problems,
right?
And even though that's a fucking silly problem to have, you know, the reality is that's, you know, if you're not a particularly wise person, things like that happen, you know. So, I mean, that's all it is. It's like there's people like, you know, that I'm sure Harrison Ford doesn't like go, you know, fuck trannies and shit like that because, you know, like he lives a quiet life. He has like a ranch. He flies helicopters, which is crazy in and of itself, but You know, but there's people who live good lives that are that famous, but just don't have any interest in being part of that.
Right.
You know,
Well, that's good though. I mean, you know, it's people to look up to. Nobody's gonna look up to fucking Hugh Grant, except for
I don't know.
No, he's pretty short, dude.
Liz Hurley.
No, he's pretty short, dude.
Supposedly she fucked Bill Clinton too.
Really? Damn.
Oh, you never heard that story?
Go ahead, Bill.
Seriously, you never heard that story?
No, fuck no. I had no idea.
What's the drugged out guy who was in Reservoir Dogs? The guy that's like constantly in rehab.
In Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi, huh?
No, he's a little chunkier. Like he was a bigger actor in the 90s. I can't think
Harvey Keitel?
No.
Oh, he's dead. Sean Penn's brother.
No.
That's the only one that was chunky.
Fuck, what is his name?
Chris Penn?
No. Can't think of his name, but it's this actor that's constantly. I think he was in like Dr. Drew's Rehab.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I can't think of any of the guys' names.
He was also in the World War II movie with Tom Hanks.
Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, it was in Saving Private Ryan as well. Fuck.
Just keep going. I'll figure it out.
Basically, the dude was off. Well, I'd say off his meds, but technically on his meds again, and did an interview where he revealed
Michael Madsen.
Not Michael Madsen. It was another one.
Okay, so keep going.
Michael Madsen's the guy that you met.
Yeah.
No, it's not him. At this point, the guy's like more famous for being like on drugs than just Google Liz Hurley, Bill Clinton, and love affair or something, or affair. But basically, the guy revealed like I think he either used to date Liz Hurley or he hung out with her, and he met in like he was in the White House one day, and Bill Clinton was like, "Look, can you get Liz Hurley on the phone?" And he was like, "Yeah, why?" Because I think her and Hugh Grant had just broken up. Right. And he's like, "Yeah, sure." Like, so he calls her up and he's like, "Liz, somebody wants to talk to you." And, he puts him on the phone. And he's like, "Hi, Liz. This is the President of the United States of America. There's a plane waiting for you at LAX. Get on it." And so she did. And she flew from, like, LA to Washington, D.C. for some party. And, like, they started, like, basically, like, fucking on the side.
Crazy,
and
dude.
Supposedly, like, Clinton broke it off because he was falling in love with her, which he couldn't do. Like, there's all kinds of talk about like how the Clintons operate. Like, supposedly they have an arranged marriage, not an arranged marriage. They have an arrangement within their marriage where she's in it like because no one likes Hillary Clinton. Like,
no shit.
Like, no matter how many feminists tell you otherwise, nobody fucking likes her. He's a dipshit, but he's a well-intentioned one with a lot of charm. So supposedly, this has always been the rumor. She hitched her wagon to him because she knew he was going to go far, and she figured she could ride his coattails if she was his wife. But she understands that like he's not going to do drugs. He's probably not going to kill anyone. But he's gonna fuck around a lot. Like he's a fuck up, literally. So supposedly, like she understands, but you can't.
Tom Sizemore.
That's who I'm fucking trying to think of. He was in those movies, right?
Don't think he was in Reservoir Dogs.
Was he in Saving Private Ryan?
I'm not sure. I'll figure that out too.
So supposedly like Tom Sizemore made the introduction, and he spilled the beans one day, and the media went like, "What?" And then like a few days later, he was like, "Guys, like I had like a weird moment. I don't know what I was thinking. None of that's true." This was a few days later, and people were like,
that was after Clinton's like, "Boy, what the fuck is your problem?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think it was that delightful.
Well, no, not.
He probably had like
what? Tom Sizemore. Oh God, was he in fucking? Hold on. But he was in a lot of shit though. He was in fucking Oh, what's the damn movie? Natural Born Killers. He was in that.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure he was in Saving Private Ryan, but I could be wrong.
I don't know, dude.
I don't think he was one of the main characters.
He's been in a lot. He's been in 167 films.
You don't have to go to IMDb, right? You can just Google Tom Sizemore and it pulls up.
Oh, I know. I like to go to. Yeah, he wasn't Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Made me feel like a fucking asshole.
Well, dude, no. I mean, I didn't know, dude.
I was like, what the fuck was he in? Like, I didn't watch True Romance or whatever the fuck. Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers, yeah.
But,
made by the same guy, though.
Right. So.
There was a movie called Penn and Teller Got Killed that he was in 1989. What the fuck movie? I gotta look that up.
I don't know, but so yeah. So we want to close this out with the Kathy Griffin stuff.
It's up to you, man. I don't know if we should. It's up to you. I'm down.
If you don't
whatever.
want to talk about it, we don't have to talk about it. We can just kind of close up.
Yeah, let's just do that for now. We'll get into it the next show.
Okay. Well, Bob, just remember to tell the people that we have a contest running.
We have a contest.
We need to make a video for it. But basically, we're giving away 2 posters from Mondo. 2 very cool posters.
Very sexy posters.
The only things you have to do to get an entry is 1, listen to the show the entire month of June.
And fuck at them.
I mean, if you're a cute chick.
Just kidding.
Once again, ladies, if we're out on a date and you let me know that you like Disney and country music, I will absolutely eat your vagina.
For days at a time.
I mean, I need breaks.
You just got to give him some water and some Fruit Loops, and he's good.
You can do better than Fruit Loops. I mean, I'm eating that vagina. Like, I'm going to do a good job. But if you're just giving me Fruit Loops, maybe some cheesecake.
You know, dude, look, honestly, I don't know. I can't say that you would be doing a good job, but I'm pulling for you.
Fuck you.
I don't know. I don't have a vagina, and I'm not letting you lick it.
I mean, I'm not pretending I have a 9-inch dick. I'm just saying I eat good vagina. Fuck you. Anyway. So, listen throughout the month of June. We'll have 3 phrases.
He loves me.
That you have to mention in the email that you're going to send to us, along with a screen cap of you having subscribed to our podcast, as well as to our Facebook page. And the email will say Mondo Contest. And our email is mhogbooking@gmail.com.
Yes.
And for additional entries, you can subscribe to our iTunes, our Twitter, our YouTube, and I think that's it.
iTunes, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram.
I think I mentioned it.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, and there's also, like, Wayne's going to put together some kind of prize pack. We don't know what's in it.
I don't know. It's going to be mystery.
It might be, like, a doll made out of Wayne's pubes.
You never know. It could be good, though.
I mean, I don't know when the last time you were shaved was. Is there enough to make a doll?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that one might come later. Later.
Later. Right next to Eddie Murphy.
So, fuck you, Bob.
So I'll get this prize pack put together. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. I guarantee you'll like it.
Share the show. Let people know.
Yeah.
You know.
You like us?
It's going to be a good contest.
Then let everybody else know you like us.
All right, so that's been your host, Bob.
I've been Bob.
I've not been Bob.
He is not Bob.
And remember to keep it Brando. Keep it Brando.
Adieu, parting is such sweet sorrow.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Get the fuck out!
Okay then. That's it.